Wow. It is me, Pat Bernard, aka the Gobbler, aka Pat from Ambler. And I'm just letting you guys know that I'm here. I'm waiting for my man Austin to come in here with me. We're going to be sitting there talking some Union soccer. Well, with that being said, man, look, the Union have looked very good Saturday, winning 4-1 over the Chicago Fire. They put the fire out. It was revenge. It was revenge time. They took out Chicago Fire, which is all fine and dandy. However, Chicago Fire are a bomb feeder team, not in contention to even compete with you. You should have mopped the floor with them the first time. Now, I mean, it was like I said, it was all fun and go, dandy. Um, a lot of breakaways. What I've seen, the offense creating offensive plays in the offensive zone, so forth. They really took care of business. So Blake was getting tested early. Andre Blake was getting very very tested early. I know Chicago Fire was bringing it to him, and then this Union team Saturday night just unleashed hell, just beat him from pillar to post. It was all good soccer, all good stuff. And this is what we need to see. This is the kind of soccer that we need to see from the Union. Like I said, it was all good playing against one of these bomb fear teams. You're handling business, and this is the kind of results that we want to see here. This is the kind of results that we need to see. We needed to see a 4-0, a 4-1 victory because you've seen it. Elliott, the Chicago Fire's defensive goalkeeper, he catches the ball and then it slips right out of his hands, and Elliott hits the goal. Lights it up. So it made it 1-0. Again, and like I said, they were creating, making some creative plays in the offensive zone where the Union were looking very, very shocked. Very good, solid. They were up 2-1 at that point. Then Chicago comes back, tries to answer back. Nothing really, really going on there. It was 4-1 then. So look, right now I'm going to get to a comment. Of course, my favorite fan, Linda Durant. What's up, Linda? Hope you're enjoying your night tonight. So look, again, the Union looking very, very sharp as always on this particular Saturday night. Like I said, taking care of business, handling business. And then what do we got here? Oh, and then Burke. He had the 2-on-1 down the middle. That didn't mean nothing. He took the 2-on-1 right there and still made the Chicago Fire made them pay the piper for it. Like I said, great stuff. Great stuff. And then you go on to, like I said, you handle business. They were just they took care of advantages, and that wasn't here. Here's another part that I wrote down in my notes here. That one of the players, excuse me if I'm butchering it, because I'm not really your soccer guy here, but your guy Gorza, he really did the job well because he came in and he took care of business. He sat there and said, he saw that his fellow player was going for the breakaway. He blocks him off. He comes back and retaliates and with an open look, hits the open shot, makes it 4-1. That was the nail in the coffin. Like I said, the Union really, really solid. Really, really impressed with what I saw Saturday night. Now, if you guys are watching this with me, if you saw what the Union were doing, please chime in. Let me know what was your thoughts about the Union Saturday as well. Because, like I said, I saw they played like a number one seeded team. They played with a team with destiny, and their destiny is to be the best. Now, before I go on about the Dallas matchup, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be talking to me about that, but like I said, man, if you guys sat there Saturday night and you saw this big-time Union win, please, like I said, they gave them a beatdown. Of course, my man is joining me just straight from work. He's hopping on with me. He's got all the Union info. This is the man you need to talk to, my man, Austin Hamill. Austin, what's going on, babe?
Hello.
Hey, how are you? What's going on, babe? Uh,
Busy day.
I see that. I know all about it. So listen, you can make sense of what I was trying to tell the people because I don't think I was talking any sorts of English. So
Let's see
I
if I
need
can shoot
you.
it straight for you. What's up?
So Saturday night, take me what happened there. Like I announced, Gazdag, if I'm saying that right,
Yes.
he came up with a big looking open shot, made it 1-0. Then they got, like I said, Andre Blake got to see business early on his side, but however, like I said, Elliott made the goaltender pay. Made the ball slip through the hand. Elliott made him pay right there in the goal, like open look. He made him pay.
Yeah, it was definitely more a mistake on the goalie's end than it was like proper placement for Elliott because the goalie
hmm
jumped up to grab that, and as he
Yeah,
got it, he hit the crossbar and was like, "Oh, I need to let this go for some reason," and just let it
yeah,
drop, and Elliott was right there.
And he did. He was right there. Nobody even sticking him, and he made them pay for it.
Yeah,
He made them pay for it. And then you had the Garza. Am I saying that right? Gonzaga,
Carranza or Gazdag.
Carranza, no, Carranza. Like I said, he was following suit behind one player in front of him. He tangled up with the goaltender. As soon as that ball ricocheted into his pretty much in his laps, he took the open shot. I mean, very well sounded team Saturday night. This is what like I said. They got revenge. They took care of business. What did you see from this game? What was Alston's take
Um,
from all Saturdays night?
the main thing that you really saw from that game was what's up, Linda? I actually spoilers, Pat. I had forgot to message you because it had been so busy. I got a chance to meet Linda. She stopped into my job yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, got to meet her
That's
face to
dope.
face. It was
That's
really
dope.
cool. It was really cool. And she messaged me. She was like, "Now you can tell Tony that I'm not a fake person." But yeah,
Yeah.
the main thing that I saw was the Union did a really good job on Saturday of filling the box up with bodies. So that way, if a ball happened to come around off of a block or a stop by a goalie where they weren't able to get a hold of it, just someone was there to clean up. Um,
Right.
and then transitioning over to the Dallas game, you saw the same thing. Bodies were there, the ball was there all the time. It's just Dallas really does anchor very well, and it's a
Yeah.
reason why they're third in the Western Conference. Like
Yeah.
they're definitely not a slouch of a team for sure. And
No.
that match last night definitely proved that they are deserving of being third in such a tough Western Conference.
Right, and like I said, I'm enjoying Saturday's win. I'm looking at all the stats, like how to go from one to the other. And before I even get into the Dallas matchup, like I said, we noticed, like I said, you and I just broke it down. We saw the Burke, he took the 2-on-1 and still made Chicago pay for it.
Yeah, that
They
Burke goal was just pure athleticism, just being able to
yeah.
just consistently fight off a guy who's on your back, trying to get that ball forward, is being able to do it is just amazing.
Yeah, and they played very, very well. And like I said, Andre Blake really didn't see too much work Saturday compared to what he saw last night. But however, he got the job done, man. He got the job. Like I said, this team got the job done Saturday night. Like I said, playing like a number one seed team, they played with revenge on their mind against the Chicago team that snuck an uppercut on them.
Yeah,
And
Saturday was a huge bounce back win that we needed.
yeah, and it was they bounced off their first loss and for so many weeks. Then they just like I said they took the Chicago Fire, they put them out, they took them to the woodshed. However you want to describe it, that's what they did. They hurt this team and they pounded them.
Yeah, they beat
Um,
up on him big time.
yeah, and rightfully so. Like I said, so then we head into last night's debacle, and I'm hyped up. I finally figured out how to get Union streaming. I finally figured out, and I don't know if I was the mush in the house. I don't know what it was. You're going against a Dallas team that came in off a big win. I believe they beat Charlotte 4 to
Yes.
4-0. So
Yeah.
they're coming off hot. They're coming in hot. And one, and this man standing out right here. Juan Jesus
Yeah.
Ferreira
Yes.
stayed on the second in the league in goals, and you saw why he is because he was quick, man. He was quick.
Yeah, he played amazingly well last night. That entire Dallas side did. Adding Sebastian Yetjet to that team has been quite a boost to their midfield play. So it's helping them advance the ball a lot more soundly, and just having guys like Ferreira up in the front, it's just creating more opportunity for those guys to be able to get those goals. And
So my
you saw it every single minute of that match last night. They were moving the
so
ball extremely well. The midfield for them was working very well, and it just led to a very solid opportunity to be able to get a goal by Ferreira there.
yeah, and Ferreira, like I said, so here goes my question for it, and I came up in the topics. Did fatigue play a major role in this game? Coming off that big win Saturday night, you had Wednesday, yeah, yeah. Because like I said, to me, I saw defensive side on the defensive side of the ball here. They looked a little tired. Like you saw the one, like the opening goal that the only goal that Jose Ferreira had. You saw looked like Andre Blake was getting frustrated with the team. He
Yeah,
wasn't too
it
happy with
definitely.
the team.
Well, that happened off of a turnover with Bizo making his transition into the offensive side, and he just
Hmm.
got caught too far off, and he wasn't able to get back in time. So Glasses had to pinch towards the man with the ball, which created the opening for Ferreira on the outside of him. It was just a bit of a breakdown. I wouldn't really say it was fatigue. I would say it was more just being able to preserve the legs and not starting your initial 11 that you have been starting during the winning streak and stuff. Because you
Right.
saw we had Bedoya, Martinez, and Flock in the midfield with Gazdag as the attacker, and then having Burke and Carranza as your two frontmen. It was yeah, I would say it was more just understanding where you are right now in the standings. Just making more of a sound move to be able to try and preserve some of the people that you want to keep consistent throughout the season. Just give them that time off. Am I angry about not starting the guys that you would want to see like McGlynn? Yes, obviously I am. But at the same time, you don't want to have McGlynn playing 3 matches in 7 days and potentially have him end up getting hurt. So I'm totally fine with it. Sucks that we had to take an L there. I would have liked to have been able to walk away with at least one, but going up against the sound side in FC Dallas, coming off of a big win like they did against Charlotte, it happens.
Yeah, and also here goes another thing: 4 yellow flags back to back
Yep.
to back to back. It was yellow card city, if you will. I mean, just yellow cards flying out the yin yang. I mean, the referee got tired of going like this all night. Um,
The ref might as well have been a dealer at a casino because he was handing out cards.
he was. And here goes another thing also that hurt the Union yesterday. I noticed 15 fouls. 15 fouls
Very sloppy
cannot
play.
happen. Very slightly play. That's why I asked it. Maybe they're tired. I mean, because this is not like union soccer that I'm used to seeing. They and then like I said, I noticed Dallas got a little physical. The little cheap shot. I forgot who it was coming down the left side of the field, and someone clipped him in the back. I mean, blatantly shoved him to the ground.
Oh,
He
that
didn't
was
care. If he,
I think that was Wagner took that
yeah,
shove.
he
If I
yeah,
remember
well,
correctly, I could be terribly wrong.
yeah, well, the guy who saw what they're going to do. Like I said, they played a physical. This Dallas team played smart defensively. They had their guy. They had their star. Get the goal in. Now he's 15th and he's second in the league, 15 goals. That's Jesus Ferrara.
Yep.
Um, so like I said, you were dealing with all of that, and plus, like I said, coming off this short schedule is not easy. And like I said, you really cannot make excuses for it because Dallas also played Saturday night, so you can't really use that excuse for any of these guys. So, like I said, it's I think this might be a potential future championship matchup for this team.
It's very
Um,
possible that them or LAFC, in my opinion, are
yeah,
going to be like the two top potential Western Conference candidates.
because the way that team played yesterday, they felt like I felt like to me they had every X and O's on this team that had this team check mark, and that's the scary part. Like this team didn't really have didn't know what they do with it. I mean, this is the first time I saw Jim Curtin look checked, and it was funny though. Um, and now, like I said, you could preach better than I could, but I remember in the chat room, Gus looking at this potential, it was looking at the lineup, and he kind of, I don't know, it seemed like, was he shaking his head at the lineup? Like, what was Jim Curtin doing? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, he seemed a bit upset about the lineup. Like I said, I was too because I wanted to see McGlynn get that start there. But I mean,
Mm
it's like we said, it was a midweek match. That kind of thing's going to happen. The rotation's going to happen. It's going to be there.
hmm. Mm
Can't really. you can't really fault anybody. It's just we just got outplayed, honestly. More than anything. It's kind of hard to really, try and pinpoint one particular thing that went wrong that wasn't off of that goal. But I mean,
Right.
aside from that, the Union played very strong. Aside from giving up that goal to Ferreira, they were
Yeah.
they played incredibly all night long. The fouls and the yellow cards, like none of those set pieces off of those fouls meant anything. Like we did really really good at being able to limit the damage that Dallas could have potentially done. But it's
Hmm.
just Dallas did a better job of preventing us from being able to get to that last ball. It's the ebb and flow of a season, and especially a team like Dallas right now, and going into a place where you haven't won at all in going into playing Dallas on the road. Like having that playing against Dallas at home right now for the Union is I believe aside from like LAFC, um, I think Dallas is the only place that we haven't won aside from
Wow.
playing against LAFC a bit further up in their city. So I mean,
Right.
it's one of those things. You hope you get another shot at it next season because this is the only time we play them because they're a Western Conference opponent. You hope that you can maybe get the monkey off your back next year. Definitely played them very well. Just that one poor turnover led to that goal, and that was it. Which
And
really
that was it.
sucks because especially in that extra 5 minutes of extra time at the end, they really like the Union were just pouring on crosses and just getting that ball in there consistently. But they were crowding so many people around all of our guys that nobody had a shot at anything.
Well, I seen better play in the second half. I did. The first half looked sloppy. I look at to me, Andre Blake was getting a lot of work in that offensive zone, a lot of in the defensive zone rather. He looked like he was getting, like I said, after the Jesus goal went in, he looked like he was frustrated with the team. But I mean, the guy really stood on his head as far as didn't let anything go in and stuff like that because there was a bunch of open looks that Chicago, that Dallas was getting and he stood and hung out with them as much as he possibly could. Um, I could, like I said, second half I saw a little bit more offensive firepower than I did in the first half. But like I said, Dallas just had him shut down defensively. I mean, very rare did that guy Paz or whatever got to see any ball action.
Yeah,
I mean, because the
yeah.
stuff in
Paz had
front
a
of
yeah. He really did not have to see too much, which you
no,
always want that. Especially being a Dallas side coming off of a game like they did against Charlotte, and then having to play a very strongly offensive-minded Union side, to be able to
hmm
just walk away with, hey, like a lot of that shit you didn't even have to deal with. Like to have for a keeper to have that kind of mentality, like you didn't have to see a lot of the trouble they were trying to bring you. That honestly, personally, as a player, you would probably want to carry that because that's some big
right,
confidence. Like my guys in front of me helped keep that game the way it was. So you guys just want to they just want to keep that momentum rolling now because they're in striking distance of LAFC. So
yeah, they are.
they really want to try and push and try and get towards that top spot. And it was overall just very good performance from them. They just happened to get that one good break and take advantage of us being a bit on our heels to start that match, and we're able to lock it down after that. Tough to see as a Union fan. I would imagine even tougher for being on the field as a member of the club. But
Yeah,
you gotta at this point in the season, you have to just let it roll off your back and just keep moving. You got DC on Saturday. You just got to look forward to your next opponent. Look forward to each match day, and just hope that you can walk away with some points whenever you can. And next thing you know, it's going to be playoff time. So you want to be able to try
yeah.
and keep that next game mentality. Just focus on each opponent that's in front of you, not as a collective, but as individual pieces to the final puzzle of being able to get to MLS Cup at this point.
Yeah, well, this is the second time that they've been shut out this season, and which is good. I mean, this is the only time that you
Yeah,
can
I was going
always.
to say it's only the second. Man, that's actually quite impressive.
That's quite impressive, and to me, like I said, that just like I said though, yesterday was just like I said, the fouls, like I said, the Union really hurt themselves yesterday. They really didn't. That wasn't the Union soccer that I'm used to watching. I'm used to, like I said, maybe this is the first time they really actually ran into an opponent that maybe is just as good as you, physically, and all that stuff. Maybe that our coach figured out how to shut down Jim Curtin for once in his playbook. We this is he exploited all that yesterday. So I don't know, if teams get wind of that on film and start using, hey, listen, this is, if you watch Dallas shut them down, we can start following suit and shutting them down as well if you just do this, that, and third. So that to
I
me,
feel like it's more not like do these select few things to be able to beat us. It's if you can at least match our pace and be able to quickly adapt to finding those key turnovers, that's how you can beat any team in the league. To be
right,
100% honest,
and
that's how you can beat anybody. That's how you can beat an LAFC. That's how you can beat an NYCFC. Even like the teams on the bottom end, like that's how you can beat a DC United, a New England Revolution, like, all those kinds of teams. Like if you just play your game and just be very adamant about how you are playing it and be able to just put a lot of pressure on the ball holder, or even just being able to cut off a lot of passing lanes to have someone make a pass to someone who's already being contested when the ball comes in. Just general. I'm trying to think of a word without sounding like I'm being too pretentious. If you're not committing too much shithousery, you should be totally fine. Like which I feel
yeah,
like that was the main problem was we faffed around a bit too much. The fouls kind of in at the end of the day, if you really do think about it, it killed a lot of the momentum that we could have potentially had. Like
yeah,
because a lot of those, if it wasn't for the fact that they fouled, some of them they probably would have led to a ball in on Blake, but a lot of them it would have been a solid turnover in the midfield as everyone's starting to push back the other way, and it's a potential breakout. So I mean, it's
hmm
kind of tough. It's kind of tough because you can't really say that that's what could happen because none of those things actually did happen, which is, I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, like I keep saying, what you want to do now is just focus on your next opponent and just keep trying to secure points your whole way through the rest of the season because it's still a long way to go and you don't want to start harping on too many losses right now.
yeah. Well, like I said, that to me, like I said, I'm not going to, lose my hair about it. It's like I said, this is the kind of game that could be fixed. You're still on top of the East. You're not fighting for a wild card. So if like we were fighting for a wild card spot, I would be twisting my nibs. But I'm not going to
Oh
do
yeah,
that because it's not that kind of show.
if we were on the outside looking in, that would have been a lot tougher of a loss for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, but like I said, maybe this is the first time they get to see someone like, wow, this team's just as physical. They know how to shut this down. This is a wake up call. This is a wake up and smell the coffee, Mr. Bernard. And that's exactly what they did. They exploded to this team, and like I said, it's weird. Like I said, I'm glad we have these group chats because, like I said, walking in, Gus was like, I don't feel it. Like he was like, I don't know what Jim Curtin's looking at. I don't know what he's trying here, and ultimately, it looked like he paid the piper on the opposite side of it.
Yeah,
Um, and it really hurt, and it really did hurt us. Um, but like I said, in a due time, like I said, we're gonna have to bounce back, have to get ourselves off the campus here. And speaking of, you were just saying about how one bad turnover can cause a game. Well, the only point that Chicago got on us on Saturday, it was because of that kid Elliott's. He made a
yeah.
turnover. He had a bad turnover in midfield in the middle of the field,
It was pretty much the same
and
thing. He
they
went to
came back and took advantage of that.
went to
You
pass the
can't.
ball forward. It was touched just a bit too heavy, and a guy wound up picking it up and starting to run back the other way. Guy couldn't get back in time to help out with the back line, and it just led to a goal. Like it'll happen. It'll happen. You can't really harp too much on it because I mean you definitely take it as a way to learn. Like I shouldn't be that far up. And
Right.
from now on, you'll play a couple of steps back from where you're used to playing, just so that way, if it happens again, you can get back and secure that position. But take it as a learning experience. Just try and move on. It's again, like I said, it's too late in the season to be harping on these kinds of losses because there's too much on the line now. So
Right.
you just gotta keep moving.
Right. And look, it's the first of two road games. It's one of the tougher ones. It's one, like I said, we're not too sure how this was going to play out. We weren't sure because, again, if you were anywhere, I think what is it? It's pretty sure it's same as all professional sports. It's all top 16 teams that make it. Um, so 1 through 8, make it. And if to me, if you ain't that top 8, if to me, if you ain't even the top 5 on whether East or West, you're not really a contender. So, again, Dallas is 3 coming in. Again, with the second highest goal scorer in the league, and to you and I smelled this wasn't going to be no day at the beach,
Yeah,
and Dallas present that for you. You came in, we came into their house. They're going to give they already had that school play. Like, listen, did you see what the Union did Saturday? They're coming in our house. We're not going to let them rock us in our house. It's going to be a tough day for them, and
yeah.
that's what it was. And like I said, we couldn't find out an answer. They shut us down defensively. They had it all figured out. Offensively, we couldn't get anything clicking, and it sucked because even like the shots that we did have were just going outside.
Yeah,
So
and
again, I
it
got you got
was it was just solid defending, being able to cut off a lot of the lanes, and Dallas did an amazing job of it.
yeah, and they certainly did. They did certainly a good job of it. They shut you down. Um, and like I said, it just sucks that we couldn't find that one guy could find he could slip through the cracks. At least even just tied it. I was just pulling for,
Yeah,
but no,
and
that didn't come into fruition.
and you were talking earlier from the match Saturday about Corey Burke. He actually left this match early with what seemed like an injury.
Mm,
Could be a bit tough, but I feel like we've done this before with Corey Burke. We're like, that's kind of scary. I hope he's all right, and then he was back the very next week. So like, I mean, it's still still sucks to be able to have to
well,
see one of
look,
your guys go down.
right, and if there's any day you're gonna miss it against the DC United. If
Yeah,
there's any time you need a break,
yeah. Give
uh,
yourself a night off.
you know, if you need to go chill at home and say, listen, you guys take the bus ride down. I'm gonna go home and relax my knee in the jacuzzi or something.
Yeah, right.
Uh, Go ahead. I might as well send three kids down the street because I'm pretty sure the three kids down the street could beat this DC team. But I'm going to
Pretty
save
much.
the DC matchup because I got tons of notes on those guys as
Yeah, of
well.
course.
But I still, like I said, I want to focus on how this team fell short. What could have been fixed, Austin? What could have been fixed that could have found like, well, listen, I saw this in the is it like Gus said, maybe it's something in his lineup that
Yeah, I was gonna say just from pre kick, you're starting 11.
mhm,
If you wanted to actually have a chance to be able to like compete just a little bit more than you did, make that change. Go with the guys that you've been going with that have been seeing results, and
yeah,
instead of I know I like I had said to Gus last week, like I'm slowly starting to get on that train of like Ali's all right, but like no, not anymore. But like
yeah,
starting him and Martinez, like I understand what you were going for, but it it's not working.
mhm,
It's literally the second time that we've run this 11 in the last month, and it's the second time that we've lost. So I
yeah.
mean,
This is
the numbers
second.
don't lie, unfortunately.
No,
But
and look, if you're a team that could shut out the Union, I give you a lot of
you're doing
props.
something right if you can shut
Yeah,
us out at this point, because literally now only two teams have done it. So,
yeah,
and that's saying something because
mhm.
this team usually clearly we don't get shut out. So
No, not at all, not in the longest bit. So, um, like I said, here again, like I said, like I said, the shocking part is 15 fouls,
four
15 fouls,
yellows.
4 yellows, but two were on us,
Yeah,
two were on
two. Yes,
Dallas.
an even split of the yellows, but still, it's another thing. Definitely, if you noticed, a few of those fouls were against Martinez and Bedoya. Like Bedoya got yellowed in that match, so like,
Yeah, and I saw that. I saw that. I
yeah,
saw and he knew like, right away that card was coming on him, and he
yeah,
pled his case. He pled
yeah.
the case.
Of course, you're gonna plead your case. It's just how it's gonna be. You're gonna try what you can to maybe have the card rescinded, but
Hmm.
it was pretty obvious that it was going to be a yellow because he was talked to not too long before that about another play, and then to just turn around and just do that, like, yeah, you have to go in the book now, bud. Like, I can't. I literally just told you, like, quit being a butthole, and you went and
Yeah,
decided to be a butthole again. Like
right.
now you're
That's
going
all
in
he
the book.
knows.
You do it again, and you're out. Like,
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
doing this. Sorry,
yeah,
Ale. I love you, but sorry. It's
yeah.
I think You know what? I'm calling it. I think Ole's done after this year. I don't think he returns to Union. Um, I
Well,
would I
no,
would I would like to see him return because he's definitely a heart and soul guy, but I don't see his playing career here in Philadelphia continuing for. If he does stick around for next year, that'll probably be his last year. But I don't see him sticking around longer than that, unfortunately. As much as I love the guy, the changing of the guard has happened. McGlynn's got that spot. You have to give it
yeah,
back to McGlynn. Let Jack run with it. Um, because him transitioning through him to guys like Gazdag up front has been amazing.
yeah,
It's been too good to not want to have them do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this alone was the proof of like Curtin being like, well, I know what I have to do, and if he doesn't do it, then the man's
yeah.
just
But
crazy.
like I said, you can preach to it more than I can. To me, is why don't you go for what was working for you? And you, like I said, guys, art. I mean, yeah, excuse me, that was my junior with the echo here. Um, but like I said, to me, like, why don't you go with something that will work? Why don't you go with what worked for you? And why even try to make the adjustments? Like, go with stuff that's been working and keep me undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have McGlynn in there, you didn't have Ua in there. Like it's just the decisions that were made were not the best, and the result shows that.
Right, right, and that's what happened, man. We lost, unfortunately. We lost to a. I'm not going to say a better team, but they were well more prepared because I've
Yeah,
seen
no,
better soccer play
a
from this team.
definitely more well prepared team
Hmm.
comparatively to what
Because,
we
like I
put
said,
out
they
there.
like again, as much as we're nitpicking and all this stuff, they only lost by a point. It's not
Yeah,
like they lost 7-0. It's not
yeah.
like.
At the end of the day, you didn't get blown out. FC Dallas is a very strong side, so to be able to walk away with the result of only losing 1-0 is still a positive to take.
Hmm.
And
And
especially when you consider like you know being where you are right now with having to scratch and claw your way back to the top of the Eastern Conference to be able to hold it now, you're gonna hit these bumps in the road every once in a while. It's a shame this
right.
was one of the matches that a lot of people circled on the calendar is like this is gonna be a key one. And you know, and again, one goal, like you said, it was a one goal loss. Hold your head high. Like it could have ended up being a lot worse. The whole team could have fell apart at the seams, and it could have started a very tumultuous tail end of the
Let's.
season. But
You
thank
have
God it didn't happen.
right. You have on paper the second best goaltender in the league. Second best. As far as to me, he's the best. But and that's because like again,
Yeah,
it's games,
yeah. In our opinion, he's going to be the best goaltender.
and it's games like this that tells you why we picked him. You know what I mean? Why why he's still here for so many years because his style of play and the way he can. He protects that protects the goal net like an octopus. You know what I mean? He's all over. And like I said, darn for one getting by him, and you see the frustration in his face when the one got by him. Just one got by him, and he was furious. And,
Yeah,
and listen,
because he's
and the
known
guys
for
in front
not
of him know
letting.
it.
Yeah, because he's known for not letting a lot of that stuff by. It was just a well placed ball that he just couldn't get his hand on. So I feel like the main thing that he was doing was he was telling Bizo like, hey, you can't be that far ahead before the ball even goes. Like I understand you're trying to stretch the field at that point potentially because you're trying to like put a bit of pressure on them early and be able to try and get a goal to put yourself ahead. But
Hmm.
he overstretched himself on that side, and it wound up just being a nightmare. But
Yeah,
you got
and
to you got to you got to take the good with the bad, and this was bad. So
you're right,
you
Austin.
use it as a learning experience, be able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and just keep moving.
And right, and like you said, this was bad. Like I say, it could have been worse. It could have been. You just we're treating this like it's a 7-0 lead, loss, and it wasn't. It's one. So you're doing something right. With all I said, the nitpicking of the 15 fouls, of the two yellow cards that you gave up. I mean, all those being said, you still only lost by one. And
Yeah,
so again, you could take this league anytime you want. So it's there. And look, and glad, like you said, glad you got a wake up call because someone played you to your level, and then now you didn't have an answer for. However, like I said, this is where you need, and even the broadcast was saying, there was no finish though. That was the only bad part about the
Yeah,
Union's game. There
it
was
was the
no
only
finish.
part that we were
It
missing,
was back
and
to square one of no finish.
yeah,
No
and
finish.
that's going to happen. It's something that you expect when you play against a team that is definitely like putting a lot of pressure on you to be like, look, we know what you can do, try it, and
Right.
it's tough to be able to answer that call as often as we have. And
Right.
it was only a matter of time before we had a game where we just came up dry. Like
Mm-hmm.
it happens. Sometimes you go to that well and that well's dry one day. Like
Yeah.
look at the Phillies; they were red hot, and then out of nowhere the bats went cold one whole weekend. That one weekend that you needed to be able to
Uh,
reach into that well and come out with a bucket of water, that thing came back bone dry. So like
yeah. And look, I'm not
there's
I'm really.
yeah, and
y-
there's enough games in the season to be able to have that happen every once in a while. And the fact that it's only the second time that we've been shut out in the entirety of the season that we've played so far. We've played what, like 34 matches, something like that.
right. And you know what? Like
Roughly,
also,
probably a good amount less than that. I just don't remember numbers. But yeah, it's just you got to be able to just let it like I keep saying, you just got to be able to let the loss roll off you and just roll into next match and just keep yourself focused.
right. Excellent point. Because here goes another thing. Good, take this loss right now. Towards the end of the season, take it. Because like you said, it's only going to make you stronger. Hopefully,
Exactly.
in playing against a team like DC, you should be able to, again, come in a household, take off the belt, put them over your kneecap, and crack them in the knish. You
Just
should be able to unleash hell in their knish. Okay, you should.
just step into DC's home and be like, "Yo, Dad's home."
Daddy DC's home. I'm kicking the doors down. There's nowhere for you to hide now. Um,
Daddy Blake is here.
yes, yes. Who wants to yell slap on the knish first? Uh,
Who wants a couple of fresh ones? Line it
yes,
up.
yes, yeah. Line up,
Gustavo Bo,
yeah. Line up here. You come here.
start
Katoosh,
with
katoosh.
you.
Yeah, we're gonna crack you one. And so like I said, this is gonna be their second game on the road. We all know the first matchup. They put up a TD, and since then they are 1-6-2. This team,
Sounds about DC United.
DC United, the minute they touch base back home, they already got themselves a new coach. Now they're playing for this guy named Wayne Rooney, who
Oh,
to me.
not just this guy Wayne Rooney, former England national Wayne Rooney, former Manchester United captain Wayne Rooney, also played for DC United about 4 years ago.
Oh,
So
so
this guy has some serious soccer pedigree.
he does, but I don't think he has the talent to.
Multiple time Premier League champion, multiple caps for the England national team. Was one of the well known soccer names in the early 2000s, along with Ronaldo, Messi, all those guys. Um, I mean, so far little shaky, but implanting a new coach and a new philosophy in the middle of a season, you're not going to see a very dramatic change most of the time.
Right.
Um, but I feel like his pitch IQ is definitely going to help that club, especially being able to get the ball to guys like Gustavo Bo to be able to create a lot more opportunity for this team to be able to get points later on in the run of his tenure there. Um, big ups to Wayne Rooney because he had an amazing career. I followed a good portion of it. I'm a Manchester United fan. You can crucify me if you want, Gus.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I mean, it's I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do down there. They have a good crew of players out there, but only time's going to tell what the Rooney regime will do down there in DC.
Hey, listen. And like I said, new coaching staff. Should I be shaking? Like I said, the guy's got. Sounds like he's got a hell of a resume. But like I said, you're midway. You're coming to a system you're not too familiar with. You got to try and figure things out. Who's good, who's not. And with a Union team that just took a nasty L on the road, they're not just coming just to beat you 1-0. They're looking to put another TD on you.
They're they're
And
they're looking for an even bigger bounce back than they got against Chicago.
like, unfortunately for the DC United, they're next in line for the woodshed once again.
Yep.
You know, when
Wayne, Mr. Rooney, much love, but y'all are getting whooped. This
you
team,
know,
this Union side is not gonna take prisoners in this match because this is that again.
this is
It's another must. It's not necessarily a must win, but an absolute necessary bounce back game to be able to try and put yourself on the right track again, and be able to
right.
try and run off another string of wins to be able to again further that gap between you and NYCFC in the standings, make that push
Hmm.
towards LAFC, make a late season supporter shield run. And I feel like this is a solid opponent to do it against.
Yeah, and this and look, you're just going to have to explore everything on this DC United team. Just go down there, handle business. It's apparently that DC is like the little brother when the big brother gets called by dad with the hand in the cookie jar, and the dad takes everything out on the older brother. So what does the older brother do? He's got to take everything out on the younger brother. So guess who's the younger brother? Someone's got to play that
Yeah,
role again. The beat down's got to tread down, and it's going to tread down to DC. And this Union team, like I said, ay, ay,
yeah.
look out.
You would hope the main thing. Sorry, I'm just pulling like animal hair off of my shirt. Um,
Awesome.
you would hope that the main thing that Wayne Rooney's going to try to instill in this team is confidence on the attack because DC United is very, very weak in that aspect. And getting a guy who was extremely offensive minded in Wayne Rooney should be able to help a lot of those guys with being able to advance the ball forward, getting into that final third and being able to get the ball in and then getting to finish with guys like Gustavo Bo in the middle. It's going to be fun to see how this team develops now going forward with Wayne Rooney as their head coach. It's going to be amazing to watch. I honestly, there aren't really many other teams that I follow in MLS. I follow
Mm-hmm.
Nashville because my brother's down there. Much love, but I'm gonna start checking out this DC United side now that Wayne Rooney's there because I want to see what he can do because you know the IQ that this man has, you know the pedigree that he has behind him, all the trophies that he has on his belt. Like it's gonna be really fun to watch.
So yeah, here goes one thing, Austin. Like I said, he's got to make a statement, right? Wayne Rooney. So is this the team to do it against? Is this hey, maybe look, if I could go to like if I'm Wayne Rooney, right? I get my team.
You're
I'm
losing
I'm
a lot of hair. You've played a lot of soccer. Okay.
yes. I'm totally gray at this point. Gray and
Oh
shaved
no,
all
I mean
below.
like he was actually balding at one point pretty bad, and I think he got
Well,
like some
mo-
sort of elective thing done.
most athletes they age like dogs. So
Look at me.
well, yeah. So
Feel
again,
like a Saint Bernard, but yeah.
yes, I'm Wayne Rooney. I'm gray hair. I'm shaved all below. I'm walking into the locker room. You didn't hear that.
Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling.
Yes. I'm
We'll
walking.
we'll just scroll past that in the feed. It's cool.
Yes. Yeah, it's the part that I'm shaved all below. Yes, you're just gonna keep on scrolling by that part. Anyway,
The fact that you
so
mentioned it a second
yes, um, I'm
time.
gonna I'm gonna walk into this locker room though, and I'm saying, listen, guys, we're gonna rewatch the film on this Union team that struggled against in Dallas. Watch them. Boom. I'm starting like Bill now. I'm finding out weaknesses. Now I'm going to get together with my team. Listen, you do this, that, and the third. You play solid defense. You start striking. I'm going to find my best, goal scorer. Listen, you need to be in front of that net at all times. This is how the Union gets soft. Blah blah blah. Just shut them down. Man to man coverage. Shut them down. That's how you beat this Union team. Constantly got to be in Andre Blake's face if you want to succeed. That would be my message of on Wayne Rooney. Now, but like I said, you got to look at you're playing. He's got to look on the other side of the field. That's Jim Curtin you're standing against. You're going against a guy who would have been your champion last year. He's no day at the park either. So he's got to come in. His game plan's got to be, look, guys. Um, we just lost an ugly game last night. Listen, this is going to be one of those air flight, on the way home. Listen, we got to get together. Again, we're back to square one of not finishing. Got to find a way to finish. You know, what happened tonight? Listen. this is if there's going to be a team to bounce back and get your confidence, let's go DC and let's roll these guys. And don't take them lightly. They just got a brand new coach in there. You know his resume. It's not going to be no day at the park. At some point, this guy's going to figure it out and turn it around. So just keep on doing what you've been doing.
Just spend the next 90 minutes that you get out on the pitch just being the most intense team that anyone has ever seen play this sport. Uh, just be able to just capitalize on anything and everything. Don't let
Mm-hmm.
a single opportunity go by the wayside with DC, because you're in a spot where you should win.
Right.
Handedly, you should win.
Right.
Like, if you're looking at previous matchups, not just from this year, you should beat the bricks off of DC United, and there
Yeah.
should be you should be able to walk out after the extra time that's added on after the full 90. You should They should be left in no doubt that you
Listen.
absolutely handed this team their ass on a silver platter.
Right. Look, Wayne Rooney took this team over in July 2012. Right. He took
2022, you mean?
in 2012. Wow. 2022. I meant to say just July 12th. He took the team over, on July 12th.
Yeah, so he's
Like I
been
said,
there about a month. So wait,
so
was
like
he?
after that beatdown, like I said,
I think DC got rid of their coach after we smoked them, if I remember correctly.
yes,
Yeah.
they did. He,
Yep.
like I said, the minute he got off the bus, they said, "Listen, Mike, just
Sorry, pal.
don't even get your bags. They're left outside for you for a reason. Um, yeah, we already got moved on from you. Sorry,
Yeah.
we can't have no. But like I said, since then, like I said, 1-6-2. So they're 1-6-2 for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
it speaks for themselves. Like they're not a great team. So again, if there's any time you want to start, unbuckling the pants and you take that belt and start cracking some knishes, this is the time.
Oh
This is the
yeah.
time. This is the time because
This is definitely
it,
the time to be able to just get another statement win and try and just start another streak and just start rolling again, because
it
this team is easy to be able to beat, and we showed that the last time we faced them. The only difference is going to be that we're on the road this time. But I feel like that shouldn't matter. But if it does, it may just mean that we don't score 7, we score 5. Like, let's just be
yeah,
serious here. Like, this DC United side is easily beatable, and
they are. They
and
are.
and and trying to get that big boost of momentum coming off of that loss at Dallas, it's just a necessary win. I can't even say necessary because it's not like our lives are on the line if we don't win this game. But at the same time, you should and more than definitely could win this game,
You
and
know,
it shouldn't be too much of a struggle. But DC, sometimes tends to end up being a team that surprises you. So don't let them
they're-
be able to surprise you. Just hand them a fresh plate of an L. Just be like, hey,
right.
for you, and just have that be
Well,
that. But like, it's just it.
I don't think they're going to take this as a day, day at the park because
No, definitely
a
not.
walk through a park because like I said, they just understood. Look, we could have beat this Dallas team, but we shot ourselves in the foot with the 15 penalties. And listen, they play us tough defensively. Again, now we head down to TC. Look, man, we got to shut this team. I don't care that on paper they're a weaker opponent. Like you said, a trap game is a trap game. They'll catch you sleeping. We've felt too many trap games this year. No more, no more.
Yeah,
You're going to treat them like they're the team to beat, and
yeah.
that's how you got to treat them.
You got 2 days of training to be able to just sort of reinstill that intensity that you need to have, and just go out there and just
Do your thing.
play the dominating soccer that you're known for. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't let this team come out and have you have to be like, oh shit, we underestimated them, because that's the second that you realize that you underestimate a team in any sport is the second that you're already down by a bundle and you're not going to be able to get back
Mm-hmm.
in it.
You're looking up. You're
Yeah,
already looking up. So
you don't want to be in the pile looking up at where it's coming from. That's for sure.
bingo. And like you said, you gotta keep in mind like they got themselves a pedigree head coach, and it makes me want to play harder. It makes me how can I exploit these guys? Like you said, just just don't take take this matchup for granted. I don't think that they are. I don't think they're going to look past it. I think they're just going to come with their A games and like I said, bring it to them solid and bring them and give them the business.
Yeah.
So like I said, um, but and they don't have nobody on the score sheet, that's leading, in any category. That's the one thing about
Their leading scorer is Gustavo Bo. He hasn't scored a ton, but he has the most goals scored for their team. He's the one who's gotten goals against us before. He's a solid striker. He's always got to keep an eye out for where he's going to be. The runs that he makes are solid. The team can move the ball pretty well, and you would hope that Wayne Rooney, with the training and the philosophy that he's trying to instill, has at least built a little bit of confidence up in these guys from trying to help them not be this bottom feeder anymore. But it could be that they're a couple pieces away from being able to start that solid build back up to the prominence they once had. But you just gotta for the DC side, you just got to take it one match at a time. Use that training every single day that you're training. Just use that as ways to learn from this guy. Be able to talk shop with one of in my opinion, one of the greatest of the last 20 years.
so here
Yeah, they
goes my
definitely
man.
do have a somewhat easy schedule remaining, Paul. A lot
Yeah.
of the teams are a predominant chunk of these teams are going to be lower half teams in their conference tables. But at the same time, you can't really, as everyone who is a fan of any
Mhm.
sport in general learns, you can't look at it as a cakewalk, because a lot of these teams are going to end up being able to take advantage of the whole situation of you could potentially be underestimating them, and it could end up biting you. So let me just bring up the remaining schedule really fast. I did have it up a minute ago, but I had a thing happen with my browser, and for some reason it crashed that page. I did not mean to do that. There we go. DC, Colorado, Atlanta, Red Bull, Orlando, Atlanta, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, you have 8 matches left, and all but 3, I would believe, are against bottom half of the table teams. Because Colorado, I could have just went to standings instead of doing it like that. Okay, Colorado is actually 11th in their conference table. So you have all but Red Bull New York and Orlando City, I believe. Yeah, everyone else's teams that are outside looking in terms of playoff positioning. So this can be a solid opportunity for you to really be able to just make a big run and get a lot of wins strung together in the tail end of the season, because of the fact that you're sitting at 48 points. LAFC is sitting at 57. They're 9 points ahead of you. At this point, I wouldn't even focus on trying to battle for Supporters Shield. Montreal's jumped ahead of New York City. They're making a bit of a push in the tail end of the regular season as well. So you want to just try and keep the gap widened, because as of right now, it's looking like you potentially play the winner between Montreal and Orlando City for your first round playoff matchup if the playoffs were to start today. So Montreal and Orlando City, we've beaten them both fairly handedly. But you don't want to start thinking about playoffs now. You still have 8 matches that you have to play, 9 total. One of them is a friendly. But you can't rest on your laurels now. You have too many games to play. And you just want to be able to keep yourself rolling and just be able to just try and get solid positive result out of every single match that you have left over. 2 of them are against playoff teams. The rest of them are against teams that are on the outside, but you can't overlook those matches coming up, because of the fact that you don't want to be left, I can't even say left in the dark, but you don't want to be left dumbfounded by a team that is like in a
Yeah.
position like a Colorado is at sitting at 11th in the West. You don't want to be surprised by a team like that. Not at this point
Yes.
in the year. You have
Yes.
eight matches left. Make the most of those 8. If you can win 6 of those 8, solid. Let's go. If you
Yes.
if you only walk away winning 4, you did something wrong, because like I said, all but Red Bull and Orlando City are all teams that are out of the playoff chase at this point. I don't even think it's officially, but it might as well be officially.
Yeah, so real fast, I want to give my man Paul Spencer. Paul, thanks for checking in. You can catch him every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. talking UFC on Out of the Box Sports Network, and catch him every Wednesday at 9 p.m. talking Cowboys. And if anybody got the chance to watch him yesterday, I had the privilege of watching him bash up Mike McCarthy. So then you got my man Paul. Of course, the man of the Monday nights. Joe Sullivan says, "What's up, fellas? Go
Yeah,
Union." That's my
I
man, Joe
was
Sullivan.
I was on his show on Monday, and that's a good time. It had been a
Yes, you
while
were.
since
Uh,
it had been a while since I did a Sully Squad show, so I was very glad and more
DC's
than willing because it was my day off to have a time off,
yeah
have a
did a
good time on my day off was what I was
yes,
trying to say.
and you did a heck of a job filling in.
Thank you. Yeah,
And here goes
BC United
is
is
the
very
terrible
bad, quite
is
bad.
yeah. Hey Paul, if you're watching the show, like there's like 10 kids on the street could be you could
Yeah,
be DC.
one win, 6 losses, and 1 draw in their last 8.
uh,
A majority of the time I'm confused.
yes, yes,
I tend to talk a bit faster than my brain processes.
same.
Yeah,
Notice
hundred
the
percent,
times
Paul.
you live.
This is the time to be able to start to string together a bunch more wins because of the just off of expected goals per game for the teams that you're going up against in the tail end of this. You should have a very easy run to the end of the year. But like
Yeah,
I said, you can't overlook anybody because the second you do is the second you get put in the hole.
right, and you want to avoid that. Like I said, you gotta go into DC. Like they are the worst of the worst. They are the Cleveland Browns, if you will. You gotta go in that
Yeah, right. Did
mindset
the
that
Cleveland Browns actually win games?
well, you gotta walk in there, and like I said, you gotta remember they got a new coaching staff. Again, he's gonna have to take time. They're in rebuilding mode. It's gonna take time for them
Yes.
to figure out things. But like you said, with a coach of this magnitude, it's not gonna take him long. And and like I said, with the Union just coming off a fresh loss, a shutout, my add you. No, Jim Kerr's going to expect to see lots of goals, lots of it, getting creativities, getting something done in the pipe, getting something done because they're going to need it. So, Austin, one more before we get out of here. Like I said, this team's heading down to DC. They're looking to give the beat down out. What's your final prediction for this matchup?
Four
Besides
to one.
being,
4-1.
you're going to go 4-1. You're going to go.
Carranza with 2. Gosdog on a PK because DC's still undisciplined.
Oh,
And I think McGlynn gets another.
Um, yeah, and like I said, I think you're right. You're going to do all that stuff. But look, before we wrap up the shows here, I do want to I do want to pay the bills here at EOP and Devereaux Sports. And here goes at the Edge of Philly Sports. Here goes for first and foremost. For you guys, any working conversations, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Hit up my man David Archari at 610-565-0300. Give him a shout today because definitely can use it. And then on the other thing here, check this out, guys. If you guys don't have any plans, hit this up right here. Hit this up right here. Um, Philly sports trips. The Birds bus down to DC. Of course, you get to see the Eagles take on the Washington Commanders and Carson Wentz. Guys, this is a bus trip you're not going to want to miss. Um, only $325. September 25th, you get your lower level ticket, bus, food, drink, entertainment. The Bells and the Birdmen guys are going to go. John Barger, Vinny Quinn. You saw them. We had them on our past week. Like I said, go to www.phillysportstrip.com. Get your ticket today and get on the bus and tell them that Edge of Philly Sports sent you. All right. And then with more of that stuff that's going on, let me go here. Check it, guys. There's no more here and there shows here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network. Check this out. We are loaded. I'm not going to go through all the names, but it's right there, presented right in front of you. And just with here and Endeavor Sports shows alone, we are running 7 days a week.
Yeah, Edge of
So
Philly, Devereaux Sports, the Painted
Endeavor,
Lines.
the
Every
pay the
single
lines.
day, there's something for somebody.
Austin, you just said it. It's always something for somebody, guys. We have all your best 4 for 4 Philly sports shows. We have the Union Show. We have pro wrestling. You name it, lacrosse. We have it all. We have every post game show, pre game show. You name it. It's here. It's live on Edge of Philly Sports
Yeah, should be getting
Network.
Fighting's final in the next few minutes,
Yeah,
actually, because
and
that game's about to wrap up.
yeah, and for you guys that don't know, man, guys, go to edgeofphillysports.com now. Go to the newsletter. Sign up for pick a team, pick all 5 teams. You sign up and you find out, and you get articles written by us two, ourselves. Austin's now putting up 3 to 4 articles about the
4 now.
Union.
Gus has
4.
one out there talking about
Gus has
the
one. I have.
the rise of Jack McGlynn. Pat has some stuff out there talking Phillies. We've got a lot of stuff, man. It's awesome. Red Bull.
So
Red Bull's been stringing together some wins, but I'll talk about that in a couple of weeks when we come up to play them.
yeah, they're coming along. I think they got a matchup in September that we'll be looking at to dive into. So, like I said, man, for you guys who are checking us out, like again, go to edgeofphillysports.com, hook up to the newsletter. If you guys love the show and you want more, look, I enjoy Austin's knowledge. His brain's way bigger than mine. So, if you enjoy what
My
he
beard
says,
is too.
yeah, you enjoy his knowledge and you want to read what he writes, it's right there. So for all you Union heads, go check him out, man. He's gonna be, and soon, I'm telling you, sooner or later, soon enough, my man's gonna be in the press box covering these games. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter
This
of
guy,
time, Lord willing.
yeah, this guy is really hungry of covering the sports. But anyway, check him out. Give him like I said, follow, check us out. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Pat for Mandler. You can follow us at Austin26
At
on Twitter.
AustHamel26, AustHamL 26.
So give us a follow. You can hit us
Follow
on
me
Facebook.
on Twitch. I'm going to start streaming video games again.
Yes.
Twitch.tv/Hambo, HAMBO26. I'm gonna start playing stuff. I found a capture thing for my N64 to hook it up to my computer.
Right.
So we're gonna get some fun stuffs.
And you can catch me at the cat house with no, I'm kidding.
You catch them at your local Wawa or wherever food is available.
Yeah, yes, your local food store, because that's where I'll be hanging out and eating. But look, guys, we're just about out of time, and at 10:45, me, my man Art, my man Austin, we're gonna be talking NHL '94, NBA hoops, NBA jams. I'm sorry,
over on the Dev
Road
Sports
Sports
Facebook page. Going to be a good
we're
time.
gonna be. So, guys, if you want to talk about some old school video games, check us out. All right, guys.
I'm going to bring up rosters right now.
Me too. I got to do my homework. So for me, my man Austin, guys, we'll catch you next week. And my man Gus should be back in the lineup. All right,
More
guys.
than likely. We'll see.
See it.